Hello, hello, hello. I've had a couple of ideas of what to do for videos, so I've got a couple lined up for you. This one, I just want to talk to you about the banks. I mean, talking about banks could take me 20 videos, for God's sake. So, let's start with, what do the banks do? Talking to my previous girlfriend of mine when I was with her at the time, she thought that when you put your money in the bank, it literally sits in a vault waiting for you to withdraw it. If that's what you think, I'm sorry to tell you that's massively wrong. Your money doesn't just sit there, because the bank's main role is to make money. And the only way to make money is to use our money that we deposit with them to make more money. So how does that work? Well, basically, let me get my board, 2 seconds, and a wipe will be good. Hang on. Not very organised today, am I? Right. Let's write this old board down. Get the old pen. And let's just draw this for you. So as I'm drawing, I'll talk you through it. So I'm just drawing a big box, which is the bank. And we've got, put D. Right. So on the board, you see we've got a D, a B, and an S. So the D is the depositors. That's most of us, with the savers, the ones that put money into the bank. I mean, technically, you can be all three at once, but a typical person tends to be a depositor or a borrower. So you've got money in the banks that they're earning what? It's been reduced to about 0.25%. Absolutely pitiful. So yeah, most of us are depositors. And basically, the banks use our money to lend to the borrowers. People who need money, they could be people who want to buy a car, they want to buy a house and need a mortgage, a residential mortgage, or they could be entrepreneurs who want to buy a property, a buy-to-let property, or they want a loan to start a business. The reasons for borrowing can be endless. So that's essentially the banks, really just the middle person between the depositors and the borrowers. But being the middleman is where the money's at, to be honest. So they pay, say, 0.25% to us. I'm doing this upside down, so sorry for the bad handwriting. 0.25, let's do a percent as well. Handwriting's awful because that's backwards and upside down to me. But anyway, so yeah, they give us 0.25%, but they say they lend at 6%. That means they keep the rest, right? So that's the basic function of a bank. Originally, that's what they were there to do, but the banks eventually realised that they can get more money by doing other things. So they'll lend, they'll have different types of lending, long-term and short-term lending. So long-term would be a mortgage, say 20, 30 years, whereas a short-term loan might be 1, 2, maybe 5 years. So that's the essential basics of a bank. So hopefully you're with me so far. That's a 6%, sorry, 6%. And the other one, the S, sorry, is the shareholders. So every bank's owned by shareholders. So basically, this business, as any business, generates money, and the profits go either back into the business to increase, to improve it, to invest on, say, better systems, better processes, blah blah blah. But alternatively, they can give that money to shareholders, and I'm sure you've heard in the news about the massive bonuses that bankers and shareholders get. Okay, so that's the essentials, the basics of a bank. That's just a normal domestic bank. But then you have investment banks, which basically they invest the money. Hence the name investment banks, and commercial banks, which tend to lend to businesses. And that's the very basic version of a bank. And I want to explain to you why this 0.25% is a load of shit, basically. So I'm going to talk to you about what is known as fractional reserve banking. So let me write the board again. So bear me 1 second. I have a board marker here. So wipe the board. Yeah, so fractional reserve banking, fractional kind of gives a bit of a clue about what it's about. It basically gives the banks the ability to lend money they don't have and charge interest on that money. Right? Sound a bit scammy? It is, really. Fractional reserve banking is, in my mind, wrong. It's fraud, it's counterfeited money, and if an everyday person did that, would go to jail. But because they're banks, they're massively, well, they can buy off anyone, really, can't they? They can do what they want. So they use what's called fractional reserve banking. So let's see how that works. Right, I've got my assets and liabilities. Liabilities. It's not going to fit on the board, but assets and liabilities. Right. So let's say day one of the bank. We've got a bank. Let's just do a little box down here. Swing that in. Here's our bank at the bottom. Now that little square box is the bank, right? So a customer comes in and says, I would like to deposit £10,000 with you, please, sir. Yeah. Okay, sir, no problem. Yeah, blah, 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 set an account. So you've just created, they've put £10,000 into the bank, your banking system. So you've got, let me just fill the board down to the right. So you've got £10,000, currently it's in cash, because they've just put it with you. They've just given you 10 grand cash and said, please hold this for me. You've also created a £10,000 liability, so at some point in the future, you're going to have to give them back the £10,000, aren't you? So far, doesn't nothing look scammy about that, you know. You've got £10,000 cash and £10,000 depositor, yeah, in deposits. So this is when the fractional reserve comes in. Of that £10,000, the bank only have to keep in reserves 10%. So that's £1,000 in reserves. Okay? That leaves them with £9,000. Well, where's the £9,000? Right. Well, that's actually now gone into their loans account. It's available to lend out to other people. So you've got £9,000 in, let's put loans account. I'll just keep it in cash for the time being. So just to show you the board now, it's a bit messy, but that's what it looks like so far. So you've got £1,000 in reserves sat in the vault, and you've got £9,000 in cash, which totals £10,000. And to balance that, because in accounting, double entry, everything's got balance. So to balance that £10,000, you've got liability to pay that customer, Mr. Joe Bloggs, of £10,000. Okay, so another customer comes in the same day, you know, day one's going well, and he says, I would like to borrow £9,000. You think, well, it's funny because I've got £9,000 to lend. That's all. So you say, no problem, sir. You go through, you know, do the normal thing, credit check the customer, credit check them, make sure they're okay to borrow off you. Assuming everything goes through and everything's fine, yeah, you say, yeah, I'm happy to lend to you. I'll lend to you at 10%. So you've now, let me just get a board wiper again. You've now got a loan of £9,000. I haven't got a loan calculator handy, so let's just pick a number. Let's say, I haven't mentioned terms or how long the loan term is. Let's say it's 10 years, so you'd be paying back, say, £1,000 a year. Let's call it £1,000 a year. Just write it down in case I forget. So £1,000 a year. Every 10 years, so you pay back an extra £1,000 in total. So you borrow £9,000, you're paying £10,000 back. This is pay interest. So this is how, right, so at the moment you've got every balance is still, but what they would do is they'll create a deposit account for that new client, the new borrower. So they'll treat it as if he just put £9,000 number deposit. So it's all double entry. So they'll have a £9,000 asset as a loan to that customer, and they'll also have a deposit because at some point they're going to give them £9,000 of that loan. They haven't yet, really, because they've just literally, at the moment, they've just credited an account to say you've got £9,000 available to use. So that person's put in, but now if it balances, you've got 19,000 this side, you've got 10,000 this side. Well, of that £9,000 he's just deposited, they've treated it as if he's physically put £9,000 into the bank. He hasn't, really, because you're giving him the £9,000, but that's how the bank treats it. So from that 9,000, 10% will be put into the fractional reserve banking, into their reserves. So £900 is 10%. So your reserve has gone up to £1,900. Again, still didn't quite agree yet. So to make it agree, basically, the rest goes into the available to loan account. So let's do the numbers here. So that's 19,000 this side. That's 10,900. So I want 8,100. That's right. So let's just move these back again. So now the board's look like this. So you've got the reserves, which was the original £1,000 from the 10,000, and plus the £900 from the 9,000 deposit. Yep. You've got your loan of 9,000 you made to this guy here, and you've also got 8,100 cash to make it the balance, and that's available to lend to the next person. So another guy comes in and he borrows available 8,100. I can keep going through this, but basically what happens is essentially because of the fractional reserve, even though a customer's only brought in £10,000, they've essentially, if you times that by 10 for the 10%, that's £100,000. They can make up to £100,000 in loans from £10,000 and earn interest on that. So say they're only 6% on it. Let's just get rid of this board now. Got all my notes. Okay, man. Not working very well. It's not the cleanest of boards. So £10,000 is the total amount started our banking system. Because of fractional reserve, let's just do that. So we've got £1,000 and a £9,000 loan. That goes back into now £900 reserve, 8,100. Basically, as you keep repeating the process, eventually what happens is you've got 10,000 in reserves. I've drawn an arrow down there. If they keep repeating that process of each time they lend out money, that same borrower deposits that money into the banking system. And because the banks actually, basically all the banks are owned by the central bank. So they have what's called, I think they call it the interbanking payment system, I think, or something like that. What it means is they all owe each other money, and they never really settle it as such because they just knock it off. If you understand double entry and journals, etc., it's quite easy to comprehend, but if you don't, then it's hard to explain. So I think an example, let's say you're with Royal Bank of Scotland and you need to pay me, and I'm with Barclays. So on let's stick the number. You need to pay me £1,000. So what would do when you make that payment? £1,000 would go out of your account, and they would Royal Bank of Scotland would inform Barclays to tell them to put £1,000 into his account. But no money's actually moved around. What has actually happened is Royal Bank of Scotland create liability to Barclays to pay them £1,000. But because they'll have millions of customers each, throughout the day, there'll be things that offset. So another customer from Barclays might have paid someone in Royal Bank of Scotland £1,200. So now, get myself confused when I draw it all out, but I think Barclays now owe Royal Bank of Scotland. So they'll knock off the £1,000 off their £1,200 and they'll owe £200. But rather than settling it, they're just going to keep it rolling over to see what they owe the next day, etc. So yeah, it's kind of money that never really gets settled, in some sense. It's just lost in ether. But as you can see from this, fractional reserve means that basically from a £10,000 investment starting the bank will be able to lend out £100,000. So let's say they're saying 6%. Easy numbers, 6% on £100,000 is £6,000. That's how much interest they'll make. And they've got to pay you 0.25% on your £10,000. Let's have a look what. Let's pull out the older calculator Rooney and I hope I use the right app. Calculate. So you put £10,000 into that and they're paying 0.25. Let me just check my maths here. 100,000. No, it's 0.06. 6,000. Yeah. That's why I said it 25%. That's what I did, right? £10,000 times 0.025. That's probably right, I've got to be £25. It might be £250. I'm not sure. Either way, let's say it is £250. They earn off your money, off your £10,000. The bank will make £6,000 interest that year. And say worst case scenario is £250, not £25. My calculation is £25. If that was the case, that's even less. But out of the £6,000, they've only got to pay you £250 to use your money. The rest is, I say it's profit. It's not profit as such because there's other costs they've got to incur to run the bank. But yeah, gross profit, they've made, well, nearly 100% profit because they've got to pay you £250 out of £6,000. That's easily doable, and that's why the banks are laughing. Basically, this whole video is just basically my frustration that they brought the interest rates down to 0.25%. If you understand this, it's hard to get your head around. I mean, my recommendation, if you're not understanding, because my explanation is not very good, watch some videos on YouTube, fractional reserve banking, to understand it better. But hopefully, if you want to understand it, you'll be angry like me. I can't stand the fact that the banks, they charge us interest on money that doesn't technically exist, which is theft and counterfeit, illegal, fraud, you name it. So that frustrates me. Not to mention the fact that if you've not got money in your account, they charge you and all that stuff. Yeah, I mean, fair enough. Yeah, you owe them money, but they own all the money anyway. So it's just a massive con, to be honest, the banking system, and I want a fairer banking system. So these videos are kind of to educate you, and also to kind of hopefully you might start to recognise that I've got a lot of passion to fix the banking system. Yeah, I might not be there yet. I might not be capable of running my own bank or anything like that, But hopefully, with your help, we can devise a fairer banking system. I mean, for me, let me show you my kind of model. Let's flip this on its head. Hang on. Again, we've got to wipe the board clean. Do a bigger board. You're not helpful. We'll get there. We'll get there. You'll have to be patient with me. Good. Right. I've lost my train of thought of what I was going to show you. Let's pick a number. Let's use the same £10,000, right? Rather than giving it to the bank, you invested £10,000 with me, okay? And we sat down, we discussed your risk profile, what sort of, I mean, generally speaking, the higher the return, the riskier the investment. Not always, but that's usually the general rule. So, we'd chat and say you wanted safe 2%. That's easy because you can put that in something so safe that, the more safe it is, the lower the return on the investment. So I don't know why it's like that, but that's not always the case. But so let's say, based on your risk profile, we say, right, we'll put that property together. I'll find a property for you. We'll decide what strategy. We're going to go into property strategies. We'll be here forever. But let's say, based on your risk strategy, you decide that you want to go into buy. You want to buy to let single let property. generating £200 a month cash flow. So we said, okay, let's joint venture together. I'll find the property, I'll manage it, I'll maintain it for you, I'll do everything else. All you do is put the money into the deal, essentially. So you put £10,000. So let's say it's 50-50 JV. So £200 per month times by 12, what's that? £2,400 a year. I mean, this is more a JV rather than a bank thing, but this is just to demonstrate other opportunities, other things out there that don't go by the regular traditional route that we're all taught in school. So let's say it's 50-50. That means we'd each get £1,200. Assuming there's no extra costs that we need to incur. Obviously, there are always extra things, blah, blah, blah. But let's go on the assumption that it's a good year and we both get £1,200 at the end of the year. So let's see what that is as a return of investment, or as an interest rate, sorry. If I was to credit your account at the end of the year with £1,200. So 1,200 divided by £10,000. That would give you 12%. Consider banks at 0.25, what's that? 48 times the interest rate the banks are offering. Sounds good, right? That's only 50%. I mean, if we did it as a banking model, this is the approach I would like to take. Right, more through. So if you see things of the split, let's just do this. Me and the back. Right, so me and the back. Either way, you've got £10,000 investment you want to invest. Okay? Normal banking system, like I said, you get 0.25%, which worked out to be, I think, how much it was, £25 or £250, but we'll go with £250, I'm feeling generous. So the bank will give you £250 if you put your money with them for a year. Pretty shit, right? Instead, whatever, how I see it is, if you trust someone to put your money with them, if you trusted me to put £10,000 with me, I will want to make sure that you got a fantastic return for that. I mean, it's not hard to compete with banks. To prove that if I did that £1,200 a month, that you would get 12%. I mean, that's almost unheard of to some people, but it's actually quite commonplace if you know what you're doing and you do research. So I'm trying to explain. Right, so with the bank, they give you 0.25%. So whatever money they make, let's say they make 6%, they keep 99.75% and you keep 0.25%. You with me so far? So bank keeps 99.75% and you keep 0.25%, right? So I'm going to flip that on its head. So even if I was to give you as low as, let's say I achieve a 6% return. I mean, that's easy to achieve. Let's say that's all I can achieve, 6% return. My model would be that as a bank, we keep 20% and you keep 80% return. So that means a fee sort of thing. So we change percent because the numbers work better. So let's say we're on 10%. If I made 10% on your money, I would keep 20% of that, and you would keep 8%. So you would essentially make a net of 8% on your money. You might say, yeah, some of you might say 20% seems a lot steep, but well, you're giving the bank 99.75%. I'm only asking for 20. Yeah, let's just run some numbers here. So on a 10% return on your £10,000, you get 0.25%. Get the calculator out. So £10,000 times by 0.1 to get 10%, you get the bank make £1,000 on that. Well, the food fractional reserve make a lot more than that, but assume they're not doing fractional reserve, they're just doing normal banking. then they would make £1,000 on that. Okay, you would keep 0.0025. Right. Doubting my math skills here. Oh dear. The accountant can't do maths. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. £10,000 times by 0.1, which is that, times by 0.25%. Yeah. So it's fucked, isn't it? £2.50. Doesn't seem right there, but assuming that is right, let's just pay them anyway. So again, with the £10,000, let's say I made 10% as well. So I've made £1,000 on your money. I'll give you 80% of that times 0.8. £800 compared to 250. So as you can see, through my bank assist or my, I don't know what you want to call it, but I would be able to give you easily £800 and I would keep £200 of that £1,000. Whereas the bank would give you £2.50 and keep, let's see, £997.50. So how many times is 2.5 going to 800? Well, let's find out, and that's how many times a better return you get. What was it with me? Sorry, with me, with any property investor, I say any. I don't know that every property investor can guarantee that return or anything like that. I'm trying to be unbiased here. I don't really think that I'm saying you have to invest your money with me. That's not the case at all. I just want to show you that there's opportunity to do better with the money you've got. Even if you've got small amounts of money. Yeah. We'll talk about compounding later on, and that's compounding when things get amazing. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Ross, we thought, oh yeah, £800 divided by 2.5. I would be able to give you, or an investor would be able to give you 320 times the amount the bank would give you. 320 times. How's that sound? So let's now talk about compounding. Right. So again with the board, again. Let's draw this up. So let's give you a name. Hi Joe, you're Joe Bloggs, okay? So Joe Bloggs. Let's start with deposits, interest, and withdrawals. So you come to me and say, Andy, I've heard what you're doing. Sounds fantastic. I want in. I've got some money here. I've got this much money. Let's go, £10,000 again. So you deposit £10,000 with my company. And using the same numbers as last time, the 10% return, we made you £800 in that year. And this is what I want about compounding. If you understand how, well, hopefully be able to explain to you over time how if you don't spend that money and you let that interest earn you interest, over time that it builds momentum. It's hard. Actually, if you've got Excel spreadsheet or Excel, open your spreadsheet, you need two columns. First one is just number, and the other one is cumulative, right? So on the left column, column A, it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They could be represent months, they could represent a day, they could represent a year, whatever. And in column B, the first available row, if you start with 1, and basically assume that each time let's say it's a day, each time a day passes, your rate, the amount you've earned doubles. So I'll start here, but I won't do the whole thing. But let's see, this is in this little section here. So day and amount. So in day one, you've got £1 in the account. But I say to you, for every day you keep money in there, I will double what's in there. I'll pay you 100% interest rate. So in day two, your amount's double overnight. Two. Yeah? So in day three, I double it to 4. Day 4, double to 8. I mean, these numbers don't seem very big today. 15, day 6, 32. I mean, that's not huge money, is it? 32. But you repeat that by day 30. Well, you tell me where you are. That's the power of compounding. I know that's doubling the money, so it will compound faster. But that kind of demonstrates the power of compounding. If you run a spreadsheet, see where you are in 30 days, or 30 months, 30 years, whatever the time period is. And that's when you start to kind of grasp the concept of compounding. So going back to what I'm talking about, let's say I tell you, what I advise is, if anyone invested money with me, I would never want them to think that their money's locked away forever. If they need it for emergencies, I would want them to be able to use that money. But at the same time, I want to make sure that they know the effects of their wealth journey by withdrawing the money. So let's say you agree and say, yeah, it's fine, I don't need to withdraw any money, I've got other income that support me, so this money is literally to grow, it's to compound. Fantastic. So I can move things around, but at the end of year one, you've got 10,800 in your account, okay? As in deposit of £10,000, you've earned interest of £800, you haven't drawn anything, therefore you've got 10,800 owed to you by me, okay? So the next year, same again, at this time, you would earn £1,080. 80% of that is 1,080 times your 80%. You would have £864 in interest. So you've made an extra £64 just by letting your money grow. You've made an extra £64 a year that you wouldn't have made otherwise. We'll keep repeating this. So 10,800 plus 864. That's right. 10,800 plus 864. You've now got 11,664 sat in your account that I owe you money. Yeah, I owe it to you at some point when you need it. But you don't need it because you're doing well financially. Well done. So that then generates 10%, and I'll give you times 0.8. This time you made £933.12. If you had withdrawn the interest and started with 10,000 again, you would have only made £800 every year, but because you've let the money compound, you made £932.12. So £133.12 you made extra because you compounded. So you start to see the power of compounding. I mean, that's not a huge number, is it? If you keep repeating that, have fun with some spreadsheets. I love spreadsheets. Have fun with spreadsheets. Start doing that over a 10-year or 20-year span. And you see that the power of compounding is insane. I mean, I probably should have done spreadsheet ready so that I have the figures available to you in year 10 or year 20, but I don't. There are formulas used, but if I start doing that with you, then I'll just probably blow your mind. So I won't be doing that. In fact, I'll just quickly do it myself, but yeah, sod it. Let's blow your mind. Right. Right, let's write the formula out. It's going to confuse the heck out here. FV equals PV times 1 plus R to the power of n. Right. What the heck does that mean, I bet you're asking? Okay, that's fine. FV is for future value, so that's what the value of your money will be in the future. Present value is the present value, so in this example, present value will be £10,000. We'll times that by 1 plus R. So 1 is 1 plus R. R is rate. So in this example, the rate will be 0.08, as in the 8% net interest rate you get from the 10% I earn less 20% fee you take. So, and power of n. So let's say we want to do this over, let's look at a 20-year span. So then now the formula looks like 10,000 times 1 plus 0.08 in brackets to the power of 20. So let's just stick that into a calculator for you. And that will tell you what your future value of your money will be. So let's say 1.08. Click on the side to get powers. So the power of 20 equals that number times 10. Wow. So your £10,000 in 20 years' time will be worth 46,600 and I'll round it. But so in 20 years' time, just by putting £10,000 into account and just doing nothing, literally just leaving it in the account, it's grown to £46,610. Ignore that thing there. That doesn't exist. I mean, you tell me that's insane. You know, what's it grown by? 4.6 times over 20 years. Yeah. Just do return on investment, say ROI. So your return on investment, you've got 46,610 and your capital 46610 over £10,000 and divide that by 20 because that's your overall return on investment. I want to present an average interest rate. So 46,610 divided by 10. 46,610. Sorry. 46,610. At this point, I think just end the video. I'm doing terrible. 46610 divided by 10,000. 4.666. 661. Sorry, 4.661. That's over as a percentage. So times 100 to get percentage. 466% return. That's over 20 years. Divide that by 20. That is equivalent of 23.3%, or 23.31%. How's that for an annual return on investment? Pretty fantastic, I think. These are the sort of returns that investors, entrepreneurs can get. You know, we're taught to go to the banks for investing, or why not go to the ones who are already investing their money and know how to invest? So yeah, I would like to end the video just to sum up. Yeah, I've kind of explained what banks do, fractional reserve system, and I encourage you to kind of look on YouTube and understand that further. Kind of demonstrate compounding and how powerful that is. So I said, a 23% return on investment per year. Yeah, for doing nothing. You put money into a pot, you give us lots of money, and sell that. You know. Actually, I would like to compare. Yeah, I'm going to see what you would get if you put the money in the bank. So again, same formula: £10,000 times. Let's think how long this video is. We'll find out at the end. So 1.00025. I dread to think how small this one's going to be. And I haven't even mentioned, by the way, inflation. If you don't know what inflation is, it's the loss of purchasing power. So let's think of an item, loaf of bread. What it costs today, you know, in 10 years' time, it's going to cost a lot more to buy that same loaf of bread. What that essentially means is £1 a day is worth more than it will be in the future, because that's what inflation does. It eats away the purchase price, basically, yeah. So in comparison to a pound, all the prices will go up. Another way of looking at it is prices are the same, but our money is worth less. And that's the reason why you need to be growing your money, because if you're getting less than 3% a year, you're actually losing money year on year. So if you've got £100,000, that's your entire life savings, and that's earning 2.5%, your wealth is depleting year on year. So when you need that money in the future, it won't be worth as much as you think it's going to be. So I hope anyone who does put money away to take that into account, because I can't do. I can use formulas to demonstrate that effect, but I don't want to be here forever. I can do other videos eventually, and please feel free to ask for more videos. Sorry, put my teeth back in. Right, so let's do this. £10,000. Boom. £10,000 times. Start again. It's easy to do the second bit first. So 1.0025 to the power of 20. Yeah, I'm dreading this already. Times that by our £10,000. £10,000. That's funny. Well, it's not funny for those who've got money in the bank, but hopefully this video will demonstrate get your money out of the bank. But maybe there's reason for running the banks. So we don't really want to cause that, because then, well, yeah. But anyway, so let me write this figure down and I'll show you, because this is atrocious. Consider that's 20 years of you saving. You ready? I don't really want to show you this now, I've worked out. Wow. That figure right at the bottom, £10,512. So over 20 years, your money will grow by £512. That's it. That is shocking. So let me do that on a 20-year return on investment. Messages. Well, how long is okay, good. That divided by the original your investment, 10,000. Okay. Times that by 100. It's not right there, so it's not right. 10,512 divided by 10. The total money returned yet. So that's that. Why is my brain not working? Times that. Hang on. Bugger it. I've done enough maths one day. I'm probably boring you to crap with maths. So you don't need to tell you that. Well, let me ask you. Banks versus investors and entrepreneurs in business and property. If you had £10,000 right now that you were looking to invest, would you rather have in 20 years' time 46,610, or would you earn? So you've made £36,610 in 20 years, or would you rather make £512 in 20 years? I know which one I prefer, and that's why I'm going to invest in and learning as much as I can, networking with other investors, just to grow and develop and be able to achieve these returns for people, because I'm fed up with the banking system and there is much better options out there for everyone. And I just want to educate you to hopefully make you see that, even that weird sad face thing, I am sad that the banks screws all over. Hopefully one day I'll have my own banking system. Hopefully you will help me achieve that. And once I achieve that, these are the sort of returns you'll be making. Thank you.